Hello and welcome to part 2 of my small circular new layout build. So today we're going to be focusing on ballasting, maybe putting down a bit of grass, but I'm not sure. So we'll go with the flow and see how we get on. Remember, my Discord is open, so if you want to join that, please do. We're looking for more members. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is use some of my ballast. I have another bag there. And we're going to use a mix of PVA and water. So it sort of just dribbles off relatively quickly off a brush. But I'm using a syringe. You could use maybe a pipette, like that. But I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get some ballast, use a little brush, which I had here a moment ago. It's just over here. And we're going to have a bit of ballast on the track. So we'll literally just get the little container and pour some along like that. Then we'll get our brush through so the ballast just sits nicely in the grooves of the track, and we can still see the sleepers. So we're just going to brush through and just brush over the top of the rails so we have a nice layer of ballast. So I'm just using cheap, I don't even think it's supposed to be used as ballast, but I'm going with what I've got right now, so it's sort of little powdery rocks. And once I've done that section, so if I brush this in a bit, just so it all looks very nice and all set out, we're going to get the glue. So I'm just going to push it in, not make it look too uniform, but just sort of make it look like it's been put there deliberately, rather than a gravel spill all over the track. So now I think I'm gonna get my syringe, and I'm going to fill it up with the glue and water mix. There we are. And that's full now. So now we're just going to put little droplets along the track. This glue is very dollopy. So this track will need to be properly cleaned afterwards, but this should glue down some of the track once this is soaked in. I'll put some on the inside of the curve as well. So once I've done this around a bit more on the layout, I'll see you when I have finished. Okay, so now the ballast has dried, we can begin to do a bit of a hill and a bit of a gradient. So what I'm going to do now is have sort of a hill starting about here, so it's sort of cascading across here, so there'll be a tunnel here and the hill will sort of merge into the centre line here. So let's get on with that. I'm doing paper mache, so I'll start with the small bits here and work my way up there. So let's get on with it. Well, my tunnel is complete and it has dried across and the train does run through it. So next I think we're going to get some grass down and see where that takes us, but first I've got to brush away all the loose ballast, which I should have done before I put the tunnel in. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get just a bit of grass sort of as a test around this piece here. So I've got an offcut from my main layout of just paper grass, and I'm just literally going to run it alongside the track and see where it'll come up to. I'm just going to use my Stanley knife here and use it just nicely, going with the flow of the track. So if we keep that again on that, that's gone quite well. See, I've followed the ballast and that has gone quite nicely. If I cut round this bit here, out, and there we are. So that can be our first piece of grass we have on the layout. Now I'm just going to cut it with, glue it with a bit of PVA glue. Just break my brush so I can actually use it as a brush. Right, I'll just use this one. So I'm just going to pour out a blob of PVA glue into my tub so it's easier to work with. There we are, that should do it for now. So there we are, right. That'll do it. Put that to one side, and we get the brush, and we just turn it over and paint the glue on, like so, just so it has a nice coating so it'll stick to the plasterboard. Now I had an issue after I did the tunnel that I think it's the glue dripping onto the tracks made the rails rusty. So I'm going to try and not let it do that this time. So if I use that as a guide, there, that should do it. Now just get a bit of glue, touch it up around the edges a bit so that stays down nice and firmly, and along here as well. There we are. Now I'm just going to get a weight of some sort, maybe that little hut, and we can get on to the next piece once I've done this little corner, because that's beginning to peel up a bit. There we are. Then once that's dry, we can do a second layer of ballast, and we will see how that turns out. But I've got another little offcut from my big layout, so I'm going to do the same thing here, just so it reaches the edge of the baseboard. I'm actually going to glue the baseboard this time rather than the grass, because then once I've layered the grass on, I can just cut the excess off. So now that ballast is out the way, I'll just get a bit of glue, get that on the baseboard, and we should have a bit of grass. Now I don't have a static grass shaker, so we will have to make do with what we've got. I've got a tub of sort of sprinkle on grass, and I've got some sort of mossy carpet and some bright green flock apparently. So yeah, let's get on with the job. That isn't going to hold that down. I'll use that. That's quite a good weight. Right, let's move on to the next piece, which I think I'll do maybe coming on this side of the tunnel. So if I move my phone here so it'll record in the right place, there, right. That should just dry fine. Nope, just put my finger in a load of glue. That's not brilliant. Right, so I'm again going to use offcuts, but this is off a different roll of paper. So it'll give a bit of texture, like in terms of differences in the grass type, but we should have the same sort of principle with it. So cut and then pull it away, and then move that a bit because that's covered on a piece of ballast. Cut that there, peel that away. There we are. So now this piece is ready to be glued. So big blob of glue on there. I like using this roll-on grass because it's simple and you just cut it to the shape that you want. And it's all there for you, and then I just tend to use the other grass on top, which looks quite nice. So we'll get this on like so, because that's how it was. Right, there we are. Again, blob a bit on here, and then glue it. Though this grass does tend to sort of pull up a bit while it's drying, so you have to give it a bit of persuasion to stay down. Also known as cover the whole thing with glue. So if I just cut round here, that isn't really wanting to stick. I've just cut into my mountain. There we are. Now that shall stay, and we can have that bit go in there. Right. I need some weights. I don't have any. I've put that on there. But yeah, let's see how this turns out. So I've left that bit at the back and this bit here because I'm not sure if I want to have a sort of extension to this hill or a separate hill and have a bridge going across it, that one over there. So we'll have a look, and I definitely want this bit to be a station or a yard of some sort. Could maybe have a yard with the siding and then a station there or here, either one. Or we could even have a station around there. But leave what you think I should do in the comments. And yeah, that would be it. But if we look at this, the grass is starting to look like grass. I need to cover this little bit up here, but it's starting to look a bit like a railway. This bit of just massive grass I've just put down so I can use that as a bit of sort of farmland or a forest or something. That's why I've made that bit darker. I'm not sure which one's darker. I think that one is, but because that one looks a bit more like foresty ground rather than that being sort of back gardening grass. So yeah, I've not got much of that roll left. I've got a massive offcut from here. But yeah, so remember to like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it. Not subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. That would be interesting if someone subscribed to the video. Join the Discord. I'll link that in the description, and you can tell me what to do, because I'm not sure how to use the hill. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.